Okay, so I've just moved the camera back and now I need to think about drilling my joists. And the first thing that you want to do is have a look in the on-site guide, page 81, and it will give you it will talk about what to do. So where a low voltage cable is installed under a floor or above a ceiling, it must be run in such a position that it is not liable to be damaged by contact with the floor or ceiling or fixings thereof. So basically, when we're fixing this floor down, or the tacker's putting the ceiling up, the screws that they use shouldn't interfere with the cable. A cable passing through a joist under floorboards or ceiling support must A, be at least 50mm from the top or bottom as appropriate, or B, have earthed armouring or an earthed metal sheath. So for instance, SWA or FP200 possibly, because that does have an earthed sheath, metal sheath, some description, or be enclosed in earthed steel conduit or trunking, or be provided with mechanical protection sufficient to prevent penetration of the cable by nails, screws and the like. So I've heard of people, putting a 3mm steel plate over cables that are buried in wall. Personally, that's not what I would do, but I guess you're trying to comply with that regulation. Maybe that might be a way of doing it. It doesn't sit well with me, but everyone uses their own engineering judgment. It does have in brackets here, note the requirement to prevent penetration is difficult to meet, or E, form part of a selve or pelve circuit, so safe extra low voltage or protected extra low voltage. It's then got figure 7.3.1, cables through joists. Just try to get comfortable on these joists, guys. And then it's kind of got a picture here, and it sort of shows you notches. Personally, as an electrician, notches for cables for me don't work, because the cable always wants to sit up. It's easily, jumps out of the notch, and also, when people put floorboards down as well, trying to get the notches in the right spot is a bit of a nightmare. So I try and stay away from notches. I mean, it does talk about it and where to put it, and I've got something else on the wall over here as well that I'll talk you through. But it also says holes on the centre line, because obviously the strongest part of the wood timber is in the middle. And then it talks about in a zone between 0.25 and 0.4 times the span. Okay, so whatever you do 0.25 and times it by the length of the joist, and that will tell you this in between these two measurements, which I'll draw out for you in a second. And the maximum diameter of a hole should be 0.25 times the joist depth. So these joists that I'm working with, they're 165mm, so I would do 0.25 times 165, and that would tell me the maximum size hole that I can have through that. There are some notes at the bottom. So I put that too high. A, maximum diameter of the hole should be 0.25 times joist depth. Holes on centre line in a zone between 0.25 and 0.4 times the span. Maximum depth of notch. The notches on the top and the holes in the same joist should be at least 3 diameters apart. So if you're drilling 25mm holes, then you should have 3 25mm holes in between that. Okay, I'll be honest with you guys, I have made that mistake in the past. I've been picked up on it on social media. So a lot of people don't cover this properly. When, to be fair, I always knew that was there, but like every electrician around us, most of us don't even bother to look in the book. We just get told what we do, and that's what we stick with. And for you guys out there, I want you to start using the book and become knowledgeable. And if you've got a problem, or if two people were having a discussion about what was going on, I would prefer you guys to be on the side that confidently knows where to find it in the book, rather than being the person on the other side of the conversation thinking this person knows more than me. So just something to think about. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to quickly talk you through this. I'm going to draw it up on the screen as well. First things first though, I need to get a measurement for this joist. It's not a very big space up here. It's kind of like a little mezzanine floor loft area, pretty much. I've already measured this, so it is about 2.5 meters. Is that right on the edge of the? So that's right on the edge of there, all the way to there. It's 2.5 meters. And then all I do is, where's my phone? So it gave us two measurements. It gave us 0.25, so 0.25 times, so 2,500 to get it in millimeters, is 625 millimeters. So with my pencil, I measure from the end and I draw 625 millimeters. Okay, so there's my first mark, just there. Probably can't see it because I'm going to be too bored. The other measurement was 0.4. So 0.4 times 2,500. Again, I'm doing it in millimeters. So the second measurement is 1,000 millimeters, so 1 meter. Okay, and I draw that on the side as well. So you can probably be able to see that one there. So my 2 points that I can drill between are here and here, and that gives me 360 millimeters. Oh no, 370 millimeters between these 2 points, where I can drill a range of holes. Now, obviously, I have that on the other side of the center line as well. So I don't know if you guys can see this. If I drop this down, you'll be able to see the noggins that I've put in the middle. Let me just drop this down. There's my noggins in the middle. So I've got that measurement on this side, and I've also got that measurement on this side. So what does all that mean? Again, I've done that in millimeters, so I just want to show that to you. See if we can do this on the calculator. So 0.25 times 2,500, again that's in millimeters, so the answer that I get is in millimeters, 625 millimeters. If I want to do 0.25 and I want to do it by meters, so 2.5, again I get 0.625 of a meter. That's my first mark. The second mark is 0.4 times 2,500 if I want it in millimeters, so it's a meter, or 0.4 times 2.5 if I want it in a meter. Okay. I've also got another drawing which I've got saved to my phone, which I got from a building inspector. I'm going to sort of bring this round, guys, and hopefully you should be able to see it. So where are we? Oh, we have to get this straight on, aren't we? Hang on then, bear with me. So let's bring that there. So there we go. And I'll zoom it in. So this is a picture that I keep on my phone. If anybody wants this picture for themselves, I can send it to you. So the email address I'll set up in the link. But there you can see that, again, no notches or holes at 0.07 of the length at either end, or 0.93 at the opposite end, the furthest length. And then you can see there 0.25 of the length to 0.4 of the length. I can drill holes on one side of the center, same measurement on the other side of the center, and the shaded areas in yellow are no notches or hole areas. You can see that in the middle, no notches or holes allowed in the yellow area. Reason being, obviously, is the center part of the joist. I think that's self-explanatory. I mean, that's probably the weakest part of the joist if it gets damaged, whereas the loading can spread out across the rest of it with the way that the stresses work across that beam. And again, at the ends, what you don't want is you don't want to damage the ends and split those either. In my experience, I have seen people notch the bottoms of joists. If you notch the bottom of a joist, what you do is you actually make that joist smaller. So you measure from the top of your notch to the top of the timber because what you've effectively done is you've taken that strength out of the bottom. That's, you know, it's more likely to snap there. So notches should always be out of the top of the joist, and then that way you leave the strength on the bottom, which is the bit that's got all the stress through it, most of the stress through it, shall I say. Hope that makes sense. You know, if you need that clarified at all, you know, just let me know. I'm not a structural engineer. I don't claim to be. I'm just an electrician. And what I've learned and what I've picked up is really just what I'm handing over to you guys. So, you know, every day's a school day. I'm happy to learn, and if everyone's got a better way of doing it, happy days. Just let me know. I know we can do a video on that as well, so that way everybody's learning. Okay, so hopefully that's self-explanatory. So if I just write this up, I'll write this up on the board. Just flip this round so I can see it's coming out okay. So I had 0.25 times 2,500 millimeters, and that gave me 625 millimeters. And then I did 0.4 times 2,500 millimeters, and that gave me 1,000 millimeters. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see that. Let me just see if I can zoom on that. Okay, hopefully you can kind of see that. So 0.25 times 2,500 equals 625 millimeters, and 0.4 times 2,500 equals 1,000 millimeters. Right. Okay, let's bring that back out, and then I'm going to do a separate video on how to drill the joist. I hope that's been of some use to you. Again, comments and suggestions are welcome. Take care.